are back. This is episode 3 of Tiff and Dale Rescue Realtors, the official podcast. We might say that for a little while because we've been talking about starting one for about 400 years, and we actually did it.
And we played with stuff, and in between, and it just kind of all came together.
And we learned.
We did learn.
We learned.
And
we have new mics.
We do.
Today.
We're experimenting with microphones, and the experiment so far seems like it's gone pretty well.
Yeah, so hopefully we don't have all of the background noise that we've had in the last couple of episodes with the mic that we previously had. So sorry about that. Thanks for sticking with us.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And we were discussing before we started. Well, do you introduce us, Dale, or do you introduce us, Tiff?
I might have to do a blooper reel.
Oh yeah, one of these days. It'll all be fun.
Yeah.
And all of that. So you introduce us.
Yeah, so I did.
No, you did.
I did.
No, you
I
sort
said,
of
hey
did.
guys.
No, you did it too soft though. It's like, hey, this is Tiff and Dale Rescue Realtors, here to help you realtors with all of your real estate questions, needs.
Coming at you.
And all of that. Oh, there you go. Yeah, maybe we should combine.
We need more coffee.
Yes, I do, because I'm almost out.
You are almost out. So, and I don't have one at all. But we really need to get started.
So hey, we're episode 3. We're trying to keep these to 10 minutes. Sometimes we can ramble for 30.
We can.
We try really hard not to. And we want to make sure that you have a tip, something you can use in your day-to-day business, in your career, because we want to help you with your career so you can be a better agent to all of the people that you serve.
And to other agents.
And help
we
other
all
agents.
work
Absolutely.
together. So that's kind of like we said, our mission. We need a mission statement for our podcast. But yeah, agents helping agents become better agents and better with other agents.
Okay, you got me having to say this. So,
sorry guys, quick tangent, then we'll get on topic.
Yeah, this isn't exactly a tangent. We are in a unique business. I say this all the time. Why do I say it all the time? Because it's true. We are in a unique business. Every one of us licensed folks out there are competitors. Mm-hmm. If I was building a computer, Apple, and I was building a computer,
Macintosh,
HP, they are competitors, and they want to eat each other's lunch. But in the real estate business, we're competitors. But you know what?
We're cooperative competitors.
You're going to have a cooperating agent on the other side. So you can't be, I'm going to eat your lunch kind of agent. Yeah. Because you're going to run into that person one day, and I promise you,
they're not going to want to work with you.
Realtor memories are long.
Yes.
Ain't got nothing on elephants. Realtor memories are long. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. But remember, we are cooperative competitors. I don't know any other business out there that's that way.
No, there's really not.
There's not.
There's not, because, it's funny that you kind of mentioned the fact that we're competitors in a sense, because this is one of the main ways that we are kind of in competition with one another, and that's in regards to getting a listing or getting a buyer client.
That was a segue.
So I know.
That's so good.
We mention it's not as special, is it? But this is actually kind of what we're talking about today, which is list to last. And we're coming off of a couple of years of insanity, we really call it, where it has been very buyer heavy and buyer feeder frenzied, and sellers really didn't feel like they needed us much, and they needed us then. That's a whole other podcast, but they're starting to realize that they do need us again. And so we are able to get listings again. And today we're really going to talk about why listings are the most important thing to your business as an agent, as a realtor. So I'll let you kind of kick it off.
So as many of y'all know, I've done this for 30 years. It has always been and always will be, you've got to have listings to last in this business. Listings do 2 or 3 things for you. 1, it gives something that you control that you're selling. 2, it gives you a little mini billboard in the front yard of the house. Think about this. Over the past 2 years, and for some of you guys that have been in this 5 years or less, you may have never had a listing or anything. And I know that even the listing agents, the people that have been in this a long time and all, we've gotten sloppy, and it's like, oh, we don't need to put up a sign. But you do.
You do. And to kick that a little bit further, in where Dale's talking about, it gives you a live billboard. It gives you content for your social media because it gives you something to promote that's not just like, hey guys, remember, I'm a realtor. You know anybody? You know, you have a friend? You got a friend? You got a friend? I got a friend. You got a friend needing to buy or sell?
You got a friend in me.
You're not doing that. You actually have content that is of value saying, hey guys, I have this listing and it is up for sale. And you're doing two things there. One, providing content to your sphere of influence, showing them, hey, I'm a realtor without having to say, hey, I'm a realtor. And two, it's showing them that you're going to work this hard to help sell their house and not just put a sign in the yard if they need a realtor in the future. So it really is great for marketing for now, but also for the future and multiple.
Absolutely.
So.
And one of the things that's kind of changed over the 30 years is you get that billboard in the yard. That's great. But Tiffany's right. You do have other things now to further that marketing, to enhance it, which is what, depending on generations, they're looking for. You've got your social media, you've got all this, and you don't have to do like, okay, you get a listing, it sold in 2 days, a year and a half ago or whatever. Oh, look, I just sold this house for $4,600 over the asking
price. Which you're not allowed to do.
Anyway. I mean, it's just like, really?
But that's Dale's biggest pet peeve is we tend to kick ourselves in the foot. And that's something that, you do that and the sellers do say, hey, I don't need you. If it sold 2 days, lickety split, what did you do?
One,
so
they think they don't
prove
need
your
you.
value.
And two, it's just what the public sees and what that for sale by owner guy that's going to be sees. Oh, I just paid this guy 20 grand for doing nothing.
In their mind, and this is the way they see it,
Absolutely.
and it's not saying that you're doing nothing because we know, we've been there, and there's a lot on the back end that we do that they don't even know, just trying to get to the point of getting the listing, all the marketing we do to get a listing. So they don't see it that way. They're not seeing our business plan. They're not seeing our business model. They're seeing what can you do for me. So that is really the most important thing for you to do.
And that's because of the types of posts that we all.
So let's not shoot ourselves in the foot.
all did on social media. Number 2, list to last. That's the topic. So some of you guys out there that have only been in this 4 or 5 years, I think I said this a minute ago, you may have never done a listing. All you've ever done is a buyer. Do you know if you have a listing, you should be able to generate 2 buyer leads off of that listing, especially now that the shift has gone on or the shift is happening.
And that's because, I'm going to quote the KW, listings are leverage. What can you do with a listing? You can do an open house. So open houses, and to anybody that's listening that's not a realtor, are really for a realtor to generate leads.
Absolutely.
In the open house. Because what is it, 1% of houses sell during an open house?
Or less. Unless you're one of the agents I know, she did 2 open houses in 2 weeks and sold that house that day. 2 weeks in a row.
And it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't. And
it was a miracle.
There was a time when there were people that were just doing open houses, and that was the only time you could see it because of the feeding frenzy we were in. But this is a great tool and technique. Again, promotion on social media, promotion around the neighborhood. You can do little flyers to the neighbors, letting them have 20, 30 minutes before the open house to come in and look on their own. There's so many ways that you can use these listings to get more clients.
Absolutely. And list to last, but I'm going to give it a little tangent too.
The
biggest problem realtors today have is they're not meeting enough people.
Mm-hmm.
This is a people business, and we are here to serve our client. You're not meeting enough people. If you were, you would have a list of people that are interested, wanting to sell, wanting to buy, to where, like even today, interest rates are kind of stabilized. Houses are on the market. They're sitting longer. You could pick up the phone and go, hey, Mr. Buyer from 9 months ago, interest rates are stable. It's time to get back in the market.
Oh, by the way, you don't have to pay $50,000 over to get in a house
too.
now. Isn't that great? Don't worry about those pesky interest rates. It actually is amortized over 30 years instead of 50 grand up front.
Yeah.
We're getting a little facetious.
But so the listings are what makes you last in this business. It is, again, You have something to sell. You are, as the listing agent, I don't want to say in control because you're not, because your client is, but you have that. You can use it to market different ways. You can do open houses. You can generate buyer leads. You could partner up with another agent in your office and generate buyer leads. You can do so many things.
You can run Facebook ads.
Facebook, social media, everything. It's very passive. It's very good. And
you could dance in a dinosaur suit on TikTok.
Ooh. Tiffany's going to start playing with TikTok. I'm committing her in the video.
I don't know.
So, and with that listing, just think about it this way too. My listing's on the market. You get an offer. It falls apart. That buyer's agent isn't getting paid.
Mm-mm.
But you, the listing agent, are, because offer number 2 is going to work out. So that's why listings are leveraged. Listings lend stability to your income.
Yes.
Always, you want consistent income, have listings. I could go through a whole magic formula to where, I got to have 3 listings at all time and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, there is that magic formula. Yeah. But I think that the magic formula also for something that we can also do a whole other podcast on as we enter into 2023 and expectations are starting to shift even more, or really more so settle into the shift. Because there for a while, listing presentations, I know I went on a few really tough ones this year as the shift was happening, because it's harder now than ever to set sellers' expectations on what's happening, because they still have the mindset of what was going on in the past. So it's really up to us to inform them, and sometimes they don't want to hear it, and you might not get the listing, and that's okay. You keep trying. Don't let that deter you from going on another listing appointment, because we're constantly interviewing. I talked about, I haven't updated my resume in like 10 years, maybe longer, but we are always going on job interviews. And that's something that we don't actually think about. We're constantly going on job interviews for listings and job interviews for our buyers all the time.
So in that saying, I'll say it a little bit of a different way. I go to a listing appointment. I'm interviewing for a job. If I get it, I'm employed. If I don't, I'm unemployed.
Correct.
Where would you rather be, employed or unemployed? And
that's the way to look at it.
In our business, we have to do that day in and day out. And we, for that, are paid very well. We also get the pleasure of serving and helping people really accomplish most people's one of their biggest dreams ever. And it is so fun to watch that and see that.
And it's a lot of fun when you get to call and be like, hey, we got an offer on your house.
Yes, absolutely the best. And it's good and it's acceptable and on and on and on. Again, we have the greatest job in the world. There's nothing I'd rather be doing, or believe me, I wouldn't have done this for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I love helping you guys as well. Tied to this, to tie this up and wrap it up, because listings are leverage, listings are what make you last in this business. You've got to, today, coming out of a shift, really improve, I hate these words, but improve your skill set. You've got to know how to talk to people. When the seller says, well, wait, my neighbor down the street 7 months ago sold his house for $800,000, and I just told him his house was worth $720,000. Guess what? You better be able to explain that to him, or have a really good plan to work that out. So improve your skill set. Watch videos like this. Watch videos of other people. If they're saying anything different than I am, they're probably wrong, but
study your market too. Go look at houses that are available. See what they're listed at. See how long they've been on the market. Talk to the agents that have listed them. See, what their showings are like. How many showings have you had? A lot of times you'll find, more often than not, realtors are willing to help one another.
And realtors are very much willing to help one another. I will tell you that if you ever call me about something, I probably won't answer the phone until I know your phone number and know your name. But you can always send me a text and I will answer.
He has to vet you first.
I do. I have to vet you first. I get way too many junk phone calls.
I honestly have kind of gotten that way too. I think we all have, with all the robocalls and spam calls. And
many.
I get calls for Medicare.
I didn't know you were that old.
I know. I'm still 30 years away from Medicare. Anyways.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, Dale, you are.
Uh-huh.
You're a young whippersnapper.
I turned 39 the other day.
You did turn 39 the other day.
So you guys improve your
This is what real estate does.
That's for sure. Man.
Sorry. You got me last week, so I had to get you this
That's
week.
true. That was true.
Okay.
List to last. It gives you stability. And this is a business of always learning. Improve your skills.
Always be
Improve
learning.
your skills to get those listings, seek those listings. And I promise you, once you get used to the listing side of this business, you'll like it a whole lot better.
Yes.
So, hey, this is Tiff and Dale Rescue Realtors.
And we're signing off of episode 3. We do appreciate you guys, and we hope that you please continue to follow us on all of our platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and we do have our podcast live on all podcast platforms. You can get it on Apple and Spotify and things of that nature. If you could review it, we would love you forever. But 5 stars only, please.
Absolutely.
Thank
And you
you.
can always comment on the bottom of that and tell me I'm wrong and argue with me, and I don't ever mind that.
But 5 stars.
But a 5-star review.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'd be glad to have a discussion with you about that.
Yeah.
So you guys go. Have a great week, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.